As I mentioned in class, I'm going to go over some of the homework exercises from the textbook. This is Unit 25, Direct and Indirect Speech, and we're starting with Exercise 2 on page 407. That's said and told verb and pronoun changes. And I'm going to read through the exercise and give you the correct answers. You can follow along. Of course, you should do this on your own before you listen to the answers. Once when I was a teenager, I went to my Aunt Leah's house. Aunt Leah collected pottery, and as soon as I got there, she told me she wanted to show me her lovely new bowl. She said she had just bought it. When Leah left the room, she handed me the bowl. As I was looking at it, it slipped and broke on the floor. When she came back, I said the cat had broken her bowl. She told me that it wasn't important. I didn't sleep at all that night, and the next morning I called my aunt and told her that I had broken the bowl. I apologized and said that I felt terrible. She laughed and said she had known all along. We still laugh about it. One thing you may notice from this exercise is that say and tell are used differently. We use say when the listener is not mentioned, and we use tell when the listener is mentioned. So, I told her that, or I said that. You never say, I said her. That is not possible, or I said him, or I said them. So, never use the listener with the verb say. In just a moment, I'll continue with exercise 3. In exercise 3, we're rewriting the direct speech as indirect speech. So for number 2, it should read, Mr. Brown said he had missed the meeting. Mr. Brown said he had missed the meeting. And the other sentence B should be, he said his car had broken down. He said his car had broken down. And so here is number 2, had missed and had broken down. You can see number 3 as well, what we're going to be saying for number 3, had to drive and had already bought. So that would be, he said that he had already, he said he had to drive his aunt to the airport. He said he had to drive his aunt to the airport. And then he said he had already bought movie tickets, had already bought. Okay, number 4 would be, he said he exercised every day, and she said he looked very fit. All right, so exercised every day and looked very fit. All right, number 5, and I'm not going to hold up a visual for all of them because I think we need to have a combination of the developing the listening skill as well as having the visual. So for this one, for number 5, the man says that, or he said that he had just mailed the check. He said he had just mailed the check. And the other sentence would be, he said that his bill was overdue. Mr. Morgan said that his bill was overdue. So the simple present is becomes was, and your becomes his. And finally, number 6, he said that he was 35. He said that he was 35. And she said that he didn't look 35. She said that he didn't look 35. So the don't look, the negative in the simple present becomes the negative in the simple past, didn't look. What I'll do for exercise 4 is type up the answers and put them on the class web page. So you can look for exercise 4 from page 409 if you want to follow along with the answers to make sure what you hear on this video is also what you should be writing. So here we are rewriting Lisa and Ben's conversation using indirect speech. It says use reporting verb in parentheses and make the necessary changes in the verbs and pronouns. So 1 and 2 they've already done. I'll start with number 3. The original sentence, the direct speech is, they didn't mention the starting salary. So we're going to use said as a reporting verb. Lisa said that they hadn't mentioned the starting salary. They had not mentioned the starting salary. Didn't mention is the simple past in the negative, and hadn't mentioned would be the past perfect. We have to move one step back in time in tense and go from the simple past to the past perfect. Number 4, Ben's direct speech is, I need a lot of money to pay off my student loans. And that would be, Ben said that he needed a lot of money to pay off his student loans. Needed, N-E-E-D-E-D. Number 5, Lisa says in direct speech, quote, they want someone with some experience as a programmer. And the indirect speech would be, Lisa said that they wanted someone with some experience as a programmer. The only change is the verb tense here. Want becomes wanted. Number 6, Ben says, the direct speech, well, I work as a programmer for data systems. And reporting that, or the indirect speech, would be, Ben said he worked as a programmer for data systems. Number 7, Lisa, oh, they need a college graduate. Lisa said that they needed a college graduate. Again, need in the simple present becomes the simple past, just with an ed on the end. Ben, well, I graduated from Florida State. And the indirect speech, Ben told her that he had graduated from Florida State. And number 9, Lisa says in the direct speech, but they don't want a recent graduate. Lisa said that they didn't want a recent graduate. Don't want becomes didn't want. 10, Ben says in the direct speech, I got my degree 4 years ago. Ben told her that he had gotten his degree 4 years ago. He had gotten his degree 4 years ago. Lisa, great, I wasn't aware of that. Lisa told Ben, or she told him, that she hadn't been aware of that. Wasn't becomes hadn't been. And then I really appreciate the information in the direct speech for number 12. Becomes, Ben said that he really appreciated, with a D, the information. And finally, number 13, my boss just came in and I have to go. So Lisa said that her boss had just come in. Had, H-A-D, just come, C-O-M-E-N, and she had, H-A-D, to go. And I think I was glancing back up and I think I made an error on number 6. You can tell me if that's right. I think I used said instead of told, but I don't remember for sure. Anyway, for number 6 it would be, Ben told her that he had worked as a programmer for data systems, if I did indeed make that mistake. So we'll type up answers for these and put them on the website so you can compare what you heard to what you would see when you write it. I decided to go ahead and read through the editing exercise 5 as well. What I'll do is read through it and read the corrections, and then I'm going to hold the book up and move it up so that you can hopefully see them. If that doesn't work, we can go over any questions you have in class. So, warning, this message is a hoax. Everyone gets urgent email messages. They tell you that Bill Gates now wants to give away his money to you. They tell you that a popular floor cleaner kills family pets. They report that your computer monitor has taken photographs of you. Before I became aware of internet hoaxes, I used to forward these emails to all my friends. Not long ago, a very annoyed friend explained that the story about killer bananas was a hoax, an untrue story. He told me that the majority of these scary emails were hoaxes. He told me about these common telltale signs of hoaxes. The emails always say that it is very urgent. It has lots of exclamation points. It says that it is not a hoax and quotes important people. The quotations are false. It urges you to send the email to everyone you know. He also said that a lot of internet sites reveal information about internet hoaxes. With this information, you can avoid the embarrassment of forwarding all your friends a false warning. So, before you announce that sunscreen has made people blind, check out the story on a reliable website. Now, for some reason, I got 9 corrections when they told us we only needed 8. So either I'm seeing things that aren't there, or the book had more errors than they realized. But I'm going to hold up the text and see if you can see the errors that I marked. Okay, that's not the ideal way, but at least that gives you some idea of what we were looking for.